Hi, Governor. Could you tell us your involvement in the CFR, please? Mrs. Raimondo. Ms. Raimondo, could you tell us your involvement with the
Great job.
Hi, Governor. What's your involvement with the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations?
Hi, we're going to go down this way.
Do you know it's a communist organization? Governor, what's your involvement with the Council on Foreign Relations? The public wants to know. We just want to answer, man. That's all we want. So he support communism right here in the state of Rhode Island. See, the governor refuses to answer the question. They got two Gestapo cops over here blocking my way with the classic one-on-one psychology skills here. You gentlemen familiar who the CFR is? The Council on Foreign Relations, a communist organization started by David Rockefeller. Gina Raimondo is a registered member, sir. So yeah, Gina Raimondo's campaign manager. Are you a member of the CFR like Gina? Mr. Hayes, how does it feel to support a communist?
Hi, buddy.
Hey, girl, how are you?
How does it feel to support a communist?
Very good to see you.
No, I'm just asking questions. So why are you gonna answer the questions? Huh? Who said? Huh?
It's our order.
Yeah, well, it's
Why don't you just stay right here, okay?
no, it's the First Amendment. He's been on my case since day
I
one.
understand that, but just not in there.
I have a right to be in there.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. It's called the First Amendment. It's the First Amendment in the
I
Constitution.
got you, but I've been told, it's a lot of people in there, so
So the staff told you I can't go in.
just keep it.
According to this officer here, the staff of the governor said I can't go into the room. So press is denied access. Sir, who's in charge?
Security?
No, I mean, I know they told you to give you an order from the Lamina, but who's in charge? Because I'm part of the press, and it's a violation of the First Amendment. Regardless what Eric Hayes says, he's not the boss. Who can I talk to? Who's in charge here?
So do you guys get in line and go right through the receiving line like everybody else?
No, I mean
no
that-
problem, okay?
Well, that's it for tonight's news. If you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, please subscribe there for free. If you're not a subscriber to Prison Planet TV, please become a subscriber and help to support our operation here. Of course, you can share that with up to 20 people each night, Monday through Friday. And you can also share all of Alex Jones's documentaries. And speaking of documentaries, we have a flashback report tonight of what happened with the underwear bomber. Of course, it was a false flag attack with these connections between this new shooter, the underwear bomber, all of them connected to Alaki. It's time for you to take a look at this flashback report. So stay with us right after the news.
City of Austin tap water versus filtered City of Austin tap water.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
This has an aftertaste.
Tastes like Austin water? Yeah, it does. Ugh.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered through the ProPure G2.0 filtration system.
High quality H2O.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing. Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, Monsanto's deadly pesticide, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
Yeah, it has that processed flavor to it.
The ProPure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances and many more, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water.
Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today. Use promo code WATER and save 10% off your ProPure purchase. Again, that's InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
And we now know that the three shooters were being handled by the known double, triple agent of al-Qaeda working for some of the crooks at the Pentagon, Anwar al-Awlaki. And that is now in mainstream news. And that one of the shooters from the Paris attacks lived with Muttalib, the biggest patsy in the known universe. Drugged, put on the flight with no ID, no visa, passport. Came out in congressional testimony that an unnamed U.S. agency pressured the Dutch to get him on the plane in Amsterdam in its flight bound into Detroit, Michigan. We, of course, broke that first with the lawyers that were witnesses to it, the husband and wife lawyers. We had Kurt Haskell on the broadcast. And then months later on C-SPAN, we have that clip coming up. It was confirmed. Well, he saw the sharp-dressed man arguing when Muttalib didn't have IDs and getting him on the plane. Suspected parachuter lived with underwear bomber in Yemen. The underwear bombing was completely staged. We'll prove it when we come back. Now we know what happened. They were definitely protected by the West, and they were allowed to train in an area given to them by NATO and by Turkey. So up the chain, upriver, the West created this terror group. Let's start with the airport adventures, which they now admit are going nationwide with the Viper teams at bus stops, train stops, the streets, shopping malls, random vans, sending you through body scanners, biometrically scanning 360 your naked body. Now, I've seen more in-depth images by the actual companies where they can zoom in on pores. Okay, so they're showing you a low-res image, but totally naked, your family, it's child porn, they don't care. Now, if you take a picture of your 2-year-old daughter in diapers, and this made ABC News and CNN, the children's bottoms weren't even seen, but because the children had towels around them hugging. That was a 3-year-old and 2-year-old. They were arrested. Their children were taken. So that's things that aren't bad are called bad. But then the government recording your naked wife, you, your children, and now they're going in at all major airports, 214, and there people in Houston are being forced through them, but people are refusing and saying, no, you perverts, you're not going to do that. So Aaron Dykes and Rob Dew, back from 6 days of adventure with the police state in Canada and the U.S. Tell us what happened.
Well, I got hit up first. This was in D.C. flying to Detroit.
Because you got long hair. You get pulled out every time. Some kind of Al-Qaeda.
But Aaron was already through security, and I walked through, and they go, oh, sir, can you step in here? And I said, so what's that? And they said, oh, this is our RFID scanner. And I said, no, I'm not going in there. And what do you mean? And I said, I'm not going in there. I said, I don't agree with that. And they said, oh, well, it's voluntary. I said, well, good, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but so that's like SeaWorld made you thumbprint at first. It was voluntary. Now it's mandatory. It's like dog training.
Passengers describe a terror attack and the arrest of a suspect who tried to blow up a plane as it landed at Metro Airport.
We heard a loud pop, then a bit of a smoke.
Sounded first like a balloon being popped.
All of a sudden, heard some screams, and flight attendants ran up and down the aisles, and
everything's crazy. People are screaming. There's fire on the plane.
So there was a lady shouting back, and she was saying things like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
And at that moment, I was sure I was going to die.
And we're learning tonight more about the suspect. Let's get to Fox News' Andrea Isom. She begins our team coverage. She is live at Metropolitan Airport. Andrea?
As the hours go on, you are right. We are learning more about the suspect, and quite frankly, the details are chilling. The man, the menace, 23-year-old Abdul Mudala of Nigeria. Mudala's despicable actions were all on al-Qaeda's behalf. Sources telling Fox News his instructions were to blow up the plane over U.S. soil.
The intelligence community knew about Umar Farouk Abdulmuttalib weeks ago and failed to spread word that would have put him on the no-fly list.
The father of the suspect in the Christmas incident warned U.S. officials in Africa about his son's extremist views.
That a report was prepared and it was sent on to the CIA in Langley, Virginia, CIA headquarters, but it was not disseminated to the wider intelligence community.
Obviously, when you have a father coming in and talking to the embassy about a son who's radicalized, gives the embassy the passport number, the first thing you would think is a very fast effort to see if the person's got a visa and suspend the visa.
One of the things you don't know about is the number of people that we have turned away because their name has been on the watch list or on the no-fly list.
Only my mom could, but not me and my dad, because both me and my dad are on the watch list.
Tough to believe, but 8 years later, we are still talking about connecting the dots and a failure to communicate.
Call for immediate reviews on how this guy got on the plane and how he was able to get some explosives on the plane. So we got a while to go.
This is a controlled patsy.
Facts are facts. You can have your own opinions, but you can't have your own facts.
And we have this same pattern that we've seen again and again. We have these individuals that have very limited mental equipment, but nevertheless they're able to work miracles. In other words, they can do things that a normal person would never be able to do. You'd be arrested, you'd be questioned, you'd be searched, you'd be stopped in some way.
He gets out of countries, he's disheveled, looks like he's drugged, stumbling around. I mean, this is classic.
He doesn't get on any serious list for scrutiny or special search. And then we have this famous story of the well-dressed Indian who accompanies him.
I saw two men, and they caught my eye because they seemed to be an odd pair. One was what I would describe as a poor-looking black teenager around 16 or 17, and the other man, a age 50-ish, wealthy-looking Indian man, and I was just wondering why they were together. Kind of strange. And I watched them approach what I would call the ticket agent, the final person that checks your boarding pass before you get on the plane.
He gets from one plane to another thanks to this patsy minder, a patsy chaperone or patsy monitor.
The only person that spoke was the Indian man, and what he said was, this man needs to board the plane, but he doesn't have a passport. And the ticket agent responded, well, if he doesn't have a passport, he can't get on the plane. To which the Indian man responded back, he's from Sudan, we do this all the time. And the ticket agent said, well, then you'll have to go and talk to my manager. And she directed them down a hallway. And that was the last time that I saw the Indian man, and the black man I didn't see again until he tried to blow up our plane.
And I'd be interested to see, is there a passport? Won't the FBI please show us a passport if there is one?
They won't release the videos from Amsterdam. I mean, this is suspicious.
Oh, yes. I think it's beyond suspicious. It's a clear case of a patsy. So he's a controlled asset. And, of course, it's not a matter of failure to connect the dots. We're hearing all about the unconnected dots. No, this is the desired outcome. Let me just point out a couple of other things here. We're told that this alleged bomber, right, Knicker bomber, whatever they call him, he was in contact with this character Awlaki in Yemen. And, of course, this Awlaki, I call him Awlaki the CIA lackey. Awlaki the lackey, and remember, he's a CIA lackey. He's a double agent, a triple agent, if you want. He is used as a kind of beacon to recruit patsies across the world, and they can always sheep dip somebody like Major Hassan. If they want to say, you're linked to Al-Qaeda, they just have you exchange a few emails with this Awlaki, and that's what he's good for, right? He goes back to 9/11 and Hani Hanjour. So this guy is he's a U.S. agent under whatever layers of garb that he's got. The other thing is, how was this young patsy Omar Farouk Muttalib? How was he radicalized? And I think we're getting some pretty good indications that it's this Brixton Mosque, Finsbury Mosque axis in London, the school for patsies, the British patsy.
Which, by the way, 6 months ago, I remember it, you predicted we'd see plane bombings out of that mosque.
This is not so hard to do. Remember Richard Reed, mentally retarded vagrant who was sleeping on the floor of Brixton Mosque, I think. He was given the same PETN explosive by somebody, so that's what this Omar Farouk was given then, allegedly, once again in in Yemen. So you can see it fits together, and it all comes from these same places.
There are reports today that the Christmas Day body bomber met with an American-born radical cleric, Anwar al-Awlaki. He's believed to be living in Yemen, al-Awlaki is. He's not only been linked to al-Qaeda in the past, but he reportedly exchanged emails with the suspected Fort Hood shooter, Nidal Hassan, before that shooting massacre in Texas.
I would also point out that the security company at Schiphol Airport is ICTS, which is a Israeli-owned firm. They were